Let the mighty eagle soar like she's never soared before. Whatever John Ashcroft's weaknesses as Attorney General, the guy really knew how to belt out a hymn. He reminds me very much like the protagonist in Flashdance. Anyway, I want to talk about conversion. So if you convert to a new religion, it changes your religion. And if you convert to Judaism, you also become part of a tribe. Okay, hold on, folks. Tight corner here. So, and a way of life. Okay, so when you convert to Judaism, you join the religion, you join the tribe, you join the nation, you join the way of life. And that's about it. All that happens is you change your religion and perhaps your ethnic identity, but nothing else changes. You think, I just don't think many people would convert to a new religion. They realize that nothing else is going to change except their religious affiliation on its own. Now, what can happen is that you just may, by personality, be better suited to a different religion than the one you were raised in. And that's true for me. By personality, I'm better suited for Judaism than I am for Christianity or Islam or some other religion. Like, I like the Jewish argumentative personality. I like its blunt, earthy talk. Like, it's much better suited for me personality-wise, psychologically-wise. Things I'm interested in, Judaism is a much better fit. But none of my problems get changed by converting to a new religion. I mean, nothing really changes unless you want it to change, unless you're prepared to do the work. But most people who change religions they have a high rate of mental illness, have a high rate of addiction. They're usually running from something, usually trying to get away from who they are, and that don't work. Okay, if you change religions, there's nothing in that that's going to necessarily make you a better person, make you kinder, finer, more elevated, more of an asset to your country, to the people who know you, make you more honest in business, more of a righteous dude. None of that automatically happens when you change religion. And it didn't happen for me either. Like, all the demons that were driving me prior to my conversion to Judaism, they were all there after my conversion to Judaism. All the problems that I had with connecting with other people prior to my conversion to Judaism, they were all there after my conversion to Judaism. All the problems I had in the area of sex and love and relationships and fantasy and pornography addiction, they were all there just as strong after my conversion. And from what I've seen, religiosity doesn't really increase your odds that someone's going to be a righteous person. I know in Jewish life that if someone keeps strict kosher, that they're no more likely to be honest in business. If someone prays 3 times a day in synagogue as it mandates in Jewish law, they're no more likely to be a decent human being. If someone's a strict Orthodox Jew, they're no more likely to be kind or law-abiding or helpful or righteous or decent. None of those characteristics are connected with the other. So if someone is traditional Orthodox Jew, as opposed to modern Orthodox, in fact, the more religious they get, the more likely they are to disregard Gentile laws if they feel like they can get away with it. Less likely they are to have respect for the mores and the ways and byways and manners and citizenship requirements of the country in which they live. So Dennis Prager says when he was teaching at Brooklyn College, the other teachers said that yeshiva students were more likely to cheat than other students. And a lot of yeshiva students have backed this up to me. Yeah, more likely to cheat. You go to a yeshiva, more likely to cheat. Various people have told me, I haven't done a comprehensive survey, but it would not shock me. More likely to cheat in secular life. So nursing home administration, that's a very common Orthodox Jewish field. And why? Because you can make a good income, and the education required is only a 1-year training, and you can benefit from Chavrusa style learning. What's Chavrusa style learning? It means learning with other people. It means that you and your in-group, you share all the answers to the tests. And I remember interviewing Ruvain Blau, who was a tabloid reporter for the New York Daily News, raised Orthodox, been Orthodox all his life. And remember how irate he was when there was this Jewish girl in a class in college who wouldn't help the other Jews cheat. He just thought it was disgusting. And I think he agreed that yeshiva students were probably more likely to cheat than those who didn't go to yeshiva. So by and large, secular Jews are more likely to abide by the norms of the land. So honesty in business, no necessary connection with your religiosity. And people with anger management problems prior to becoming Orthodox Jew, they have the same problems, generally speaking, after they become religious. People who have problems with fidelity prior to becoming Orthodox Jew, by and large, continue to have those problems. So changing your religion, it's the equivalent of what's called in AA doing a geographic. You want to stop drinking, so you want to associate with a new crowd, start a new life, so you move to another city, you do a geographic, you make a geographic change and hope that takes care of your drinking. And that rarely works. And converting to a new religion, if you're doing it to calm your demons of alcohol or sex or porn or fantasy addiction or under-earning or dishonesty or just the fact that your life doesn't work, or your life, generally speaking, is not going to improve simply because you change religions. And there's only one thing that I've consistently seen make fundamental differences in people's character, and that's working the 12 steps. So I converted to Judaism, and I was out of control chasing women. I was out of control trying to provoke people. I was out of control attention whoring. I was out of control in all sorts of areas of my life, with my under-earning, with my inability to develop and sustain relationships, with my rage at authority, particularly religious authority. That same rage at religious authority that I developed as a kid in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, I brought that with me into my conversion to Judaism. Only the objects of my rage became rabbis rather than Seventh-day Adventist clergy. And so Trivium says, do I think whites should cheat like the majority of Jews? Okay, no way would I say the majority of Jews cheat. All I said was that certain teachers and certain individuals told me that yeshiva students were more likely to cheat in secular classes than people who didn't go to yeshiva. So, for example, Jews of disproportionate in the main professions, such as doctor, lawyer, do not make up a disproportionate amount of people who are removed from those professions for ethical lapses. So there are a ton of black doctors who get brought up for disciplinary hearings, way beyond their numbers. But you don't see that with Jews. You don't see a disproportionate number of Jewish doctors, Jewish lawyers, Jewish accountants, Jewish dentists, members of the professions who are Jewish. Don't see them getting brought up on unethical charges, because I just don't think that, I'm just not aware of any evidence that they're more unethical or more likely to do than other members of their profession. So, I mean, there's a widespread perception in much of the world that Jew equals dishonest in business. And I don't know, compared to Northern Europeans, perhaps a little more adventurous in their business ethics, but compared to Southern Europeans, there's no way I would say that Jews are less honest in business than Italians or Greeks or Portuguese or Spanish or Turks. Jews are a Middle Eastern people, and by and large they have many traits in common with other Middle Eastern peoples. But we often think that making a major life change is going to fix our internal problems, and it won't. Like, if you're a chronic under-earner, changing your job, it's not going to fix that problem if you've got a fundamental spiritual problem with being positively visible in the world. If you're addicted to porn and you get married, you're going to take that porn addiction into your marriage unless you separately address it. Religion is not going to solve your addictions. Okay? It just it's just a tempting, easy fix, but that does not work. I mean, I fell for it. Like, I thought, if I can just become religious, then I'll be a righteous guy. I'll just do what the Torah says. I just want to be like Dennis Prager. I'll be a righteous guy like Dennis Prager. And my own foibles just got in the way. And I've moved a lot in my life. And every time I'd move to a new place, I'd think, here I'm going to pull it together. I'm not going to do those stupid, embarrassing, self-destructive, offensive, just gratuitously hurtful things that I used to do that so damaged my reputation in previous places. But geographic change never produced any lasting spiritual change in me. Religious change didn't produce any lasting spiritual change. Change your profession didn't produce any lasting spiritual change. Changing my friends didn't produce any lasting spiritual change. If you've got a hole in your soul, then only a spiritual change can fix that. Now, if you're a part of the 50% of the population with secure attachment, then you may very well blossom if you take a new job, develop new friends, move to a new place, even convert to a new religion. The people I've seen have been super successful converting to Judaism. They were super successful prior to their conversion to Judaism, and it was just the cherry on top. It enabled their true self to shine forth, and they leaped into Jewish life. They were welcome, they were a blessing, the people that were around. So if you're basically a healthy dude, then doing a geographic, changing your friends, changing your profession, changing your religion, these things can springboard even more positive developments in your life. But if you're desperate, if your life is being constant desperation, if you're lurching from crisis to crisis, if you're alienating people left and right, if you're unable to sustain your position in the community, if you're unable to hold down a high-paying job, if you're unable to avoid self-destructive behavior, and changing a location, changing a religion, changing a profession, changing your friends, changing your hobbies, changing the book books you read, that's not going to make the difference. Like, if you're part of the half of the population like me that just doesn't know how to attach normally with other people, then you just need a fundamental reorientation about how to connect and be at ease with yourself, with God, with the universe, and with other people. Until you learn to connect with other people, until you can live in harmony with other people, then nothing else is going to work. Like, I know people, chronic under-earners, and they think, I just need to take this paralegal course. I just need to apply for a new job. I just need to follow what my friend says. I just need to accept help from my family. I just need to move location. Doesn't work. I know sex addicts who go, okay, no more prostitutes, no more strippers, no woman below a 5, and doesn't work. Or people are alcoholics and they say, well, nothing but beer. I'll stay away from hard liquor. And doesn't work. People with just, disabling emotional problems, like they swing from rage to despair, and they think that they turn their life over to God, over to Torah, become an Orthodox Jew, that's going to emotionally balance them. And by and large, I just haven't seen that. Just don't see it. I think the half of the population that's insecure, like me, we're always reaching for these easy fixes. We always want to be distracted by our new religion, long distance running, transcendental meditation, taking new drugs. But these things won't change your life.